to get in the survey, the discussions happening, you have to make yourself understand that it's just your opinion and nobody else's. Everything is being recorded. You don't have to worry that it will be, shared anywhere. It will be confidential. It is just for our own sake, because we can't repeat each and everything, and we can't remember each and everything we do today. So that's why we're going to record it. Let's start. So there's a survey. You have a pad. So we'll fill a survey form. Whatever you don't understand, you can definitely ask me, but you have to make yourself understand that you have a pen. So if you ticked it once, then you cannot erase, right? Because it's a pen. So you have to fill it very attentively. It's a lengthy one, but you have to spend your time. I will read the questions and I will also go with the questions. Whatever is applicable, you have to read. There are some questions which have multiple options. You have to tick from that. So either I can say it for you, or you can read the questions on yourself. So you have to make it understand. It should be correct. It should be correct, accurate, within your knowledge. So if you make a mistake, you let me know that yes, a wrong option has been selected. You please must ask like how to rectify it. So whatever you're doing, that should be applicable option for you, whatever you select. If you want to understand anything, just raise your hand. If you want to ask any questions, let's start. It will be 90 minutes, and actually it will take less than 90 minutes only. Please turn off all mobile phones for this message, for this session. First question, name. You have to write your full name. Area, it will be Delhi. You have to write it in the box. Question 4, your age. And in the next box, you have to pick the age bracket, marital status, child or not, and how many children do you have. So you have to also write the age of your child. That's question 8, age of your child. Now we'll start with the actual survey. So you have to fill on A1, how many faucets are connected to the kitchen sink? So you have, how many faucets are there connected? How many taps? 1, 2, 3. A2, do you know from which source the water supply to your kitchen comes from? You have to select all that apply. So in your kitchen, so there must be a faucet from where you will be getting supplied water, or there would be a faucet from where you get underground water, or one faucet from where you can get water from the tank, water supplied by water tank, and the other says other specify. So you have to pick out of these. You get supplied water directly to the kitchen, you can select that. In each question, you have to select all that applies. That means that question, you can give more than 1 or 2 answers. It must be possible that you have 2 to 3 connections more. So A2 first, which of the following water is stored in your water tank? So in your water tank, what type of water is stored? So it can give you multiple answers. Some underground water and some supplied water are stored in the tanks. So you can select. And if the water tank, any other water supplied which is stored in the water tank. You have to write that. I hope there's no doubt. A3, what types of raw water is connected to each faucet in your kitchen sink? Please select what kind of water comes out from each water faucet you have. So what raw water is connected to each faucet? So if faucet 1, you get supplied water from the faucet 1, and if you get supplied water from the faucet 2, or you get supplied water from faucet 3, you have to write that. How many faucets are there in the kitchen? And then you have to select. What if it's just one? Then you have to select just one, that you just get for supplied water from just one faucet. So you have to tell me which faucet. So you're getting supplied water from the faucets. So both the connections are for one. The maximum you use. So you use supplied water or the underground water? Actually both. But you have different faucets, right? The faucet you get supplied water from, you have to write from which faucet do you get the supplied water. I think supplied water you must be getting for a few hours, so you must go for the underground water. A4, what kind of faucet did the water you use for drinking come from? So you have to select the water source of the faucet or pipe connected to the water purifier. So what is the type of water which is connected to the water purifier, which gets into the water purifier, which you drink? And if I do use the tap water as drinking water, what type of water do you usually drink? If you don't have a water purifier, you can now take on others, and then you can specify whatever you have. So it's written, what kind of water do you use for drinking? So you must write supplied water, but if you use water purifier, you have to pick. You can tick on supplied water, and then you can write that you don't have a water purifier. And if you don't, then we will assume that if you don't write that you don't have a water purifier, we'll assume that the water purifier gets the water from supplied water. So write that you don't have a water purifier. So what type of water do you usually drink? Yes, I drink tap water. Whatever will be applicable to you, that whatever you drink either from supplied groundwater tank directly, or after boiling, or after using the water purifier, right? Any doubt? A6, what kind of water do you usually use for drinking water? So let's let's think that there's the total water usage is 100%. So you have to write down the percentage of each water type. So what type of water do you use to drink? Okay. So, but what percentage? The total water you use for drinking, that will be 100%. But out of that 100%, you have to give me the percentage of each water type. Either it could be boiled water, bottled water, after boiling, after water tank. Maybe purified water will be 50%. So total, you have to let me know. It should be 100%. You have to make it 100% of drinking water. Just for the drinking. For this question, it's for the drinking water. So you have to make it 100% and you have to select. Clear? Yes. If there's a problem in the percentage, you may ask. Okay. A7, what kind of water do you use for cooking? So here, cooking, you have to understand. Cooking water is the water which you use, like if you're making pulses, or if the last time when you wash the vegetables, the rice, or generally we use the same water we use for the cooking because that's what left. So last rinse. And for the cooking, what type of water do you use for cooking? Either for washing vegetables at the end or washing the, okay. So generally the last rinse, that's the only one. So for cooking, if you do it differently, for example, you use tank water for washing, and then for with water purifier, you do cooking. So you just have to think about cooking only. Just the cooking, you have to select for the cooking. A8, what kind of water do you usually use for wash water? So here, wash water means you can talk about washing utensils or washing ingredients, last washing, or after cook, which you use. So mainly basically for washing the utensils, and before cooking, you just usually generally, wash it with a few water, with some water. So you have to put, okay. You have to write. There are too many options for the tap water directly through simple filtering after boiling. So you have to give the percentages, right? You have to write the percentage. A9, what kind of water do you usually use for washing dishes? So this is the one for, washing the dishes. The last wash, which I was telling, the rinse, or before, before cooking, you wash the utensils. That's the water when you do the dishes. So after completing this part, so the invigilators will go through all of the answers you have done. A10, when do you usually use water from water purifier? Suppose the total water purifier water consumption is 100. What's the proportion of drinking, cooking, and washing for cooking after water respectively? So the water you get from water purifier. So how much and what percentage do you use the water purifier water for drink, for cooking, and for washing? For cooking, like example, wash utensil or ingredient. So some people are using water purifier only for dishes, even for dishes, if they want to wash the utensils. So the total percentage must be 100%. So if they don't have water purifier, they must write do not have a water purifier. So next, is there a fixed time for a supply of water? You have to write all the times water when the supply comes out. For example, in some areas in Delhi, like they get water in the morning and in the evening. Other areas, they get the water only in the morning. So even 24 hours, you're getting water. Yes. So that's Delhi Jal Board water which you get, which is supplied to you. So you have to write. The next question, in 1 month, how many days do you experience water supply cut in a month? Generally, in a month, how many days are those when the water supply is cut, when there's no water supply? So you have to write that. So total water purifier water, which you totally use, if there's 100 liter is the total water which you use on the water purifier. The last question, when the water supply is cut off, how long does it last? In some cases, when they get water supply twice in a day or just once in a whole day, of course, there is a water supply cutoff, right? So how long does it last? So it is based on international standards. So in other countries, there's 24-hour supply. But yes, here we get water from supply time. So you have to select, if out of 24 hours, you get water for just 1 hour, you have to write the supply is cut off for 23 hours. So yeah, you can write 18 hours if you get water. If you don't get water for 18 hours. Yes, if you just get 4 hours, if you don't get water for 4 hours, then you have to write that 4 hours, there's a supply, water supply is cut off. And how many, what is the, if every day you're getting water for 1 hour, you know, if you get water supplied for 1 hour each day, then of course it will be 23 hours that you do not get the water supply. So it's cut off. In A11 and A12 and A12 too, it's just the supplied water, that's Delhi Jal Board. So you don't get the supplied water. There's no supply connection, water supply connection. Oh, no, okay. So you must write that you do not get supplied water. So in a day, you are getting the water supply for 9 hours, but other hours you are not getting the water supply. So it is 15 hours that there's a water supply cut, right? Yes, yes. And if you don't get in days, then you can write the number of days. So if you're talking about in a month, if we talk about 1 or 2 days, you do not get the water. So that's the summertime. So in Delhi Jal Board, you don't get the water supply for a few days. You must keep it blank that it's not applicable. That every day, that 365 days in a year, you're getting the water supply. But yes, if every day you're getting water for 2 hours, but the cutoff is for 22 hours, right? Because you're not using water like supplied water, so you must not take A6, A7 or A. You must not be considering supplied water, right? Okay. In A3, you must not select supplied water because you said you're not getting the supplied water. Now we proceed further. We'll come to A30. How concerned are you usually about the water cut? Below is the example of how concerned you are, with 7 points being very concerned and 1 point being not concerned at all. So 7-pointer scale. 1 means that you are not at all concerned, that you don't care, you're not concerned. And 7 means you're very, very concerned. So the degree of concern will increase with the scale. So your concern will increase. So if you have a lot of concern, like, you know, if they have little children, like if they have small babies, they are very, very concerned. But yes, so if the water cut issue is very much in your area, according to those factors, if you're getting 24 hours of water, if they get the water every time and there is no concern, so they can keep it at not concerned at all. Any doubts? How much has the water cut supply affected using water in your daily life? How inconvenient do you feel when the water got cut off? Not comfortable. It's very, very inconvenient for all. Not at all convenience. And if you're feeling very inconvenienced and if you're feeling very uncomfortable, so the scale is opposite. Now, one is you're not at all feeling inconvenience. Like if they have connection, if they told me that they're just using water, so even if there's a water cut, they are not even concerned about it. They don't feel any inconvenience. They will choose one. And if they don't have the water, it depends on the drinking water. You must be knowing, if you don't get the water, so there must be some irritation, like it's salty water or some. Yes, yeah, it is the concern, and yes, it's the inconvenience. Then you have to let us know how inconvenienced do you feel. So I think it will be highly inconvenienced if you're concerned, if you are very, very uncomfortable. So next question, A50, when using a water purifier, how inconvenient are you due to the water cutoff? Six means uncomfortable. I will again let you know the question. So if you look at the options, A14, first, not uncomfortable at all, that there's no problem, there's no difficulty. Second is not comfortable, not uncomfortable, that you have a few difficulties, a few problems, but it doesn't matter. Somewhat not uncomfortable, inconvenience, third, but yeah, it may say it's 20-30% neutral, that it's normal, it doesn't make any difference. Somewhat uncomfortable, that yes, you're getting a bit of difficulties. Uncomfortable, inconvenience, yes, you have inconvenience, which is more, but very uncomfortable, it's like a lot of inconvenience and a lot of difficulties. Now you have to let me know, when using a water purifier, whoever has a water tank, they must fill it. But how inconvenient are you due to the water cutoff? So if those dependent on the water supply, one is not uncomfortable at all. So even if there's a water cut, there's no problem. 7 is very uncomfortable, that if there's a water cut, then their life will, there will be a lot of problems if there's no water. A16. So you will put not comfortable at all. You must write, when we are analyzing, of course, the answers, we are going to match it with the ones which you have already answered. A16, do you have water storage tank at home? Yes or no? If you have water storage tank, where is the water tank located? On the roof, house floor, or others, if it's located otherwhere? A17, it's a subjective. It's not a multiple choice. You have to write all the problems which you face. So the question, what are the inconveniences when the water got cut off? So what are the problems or issues when there's a water cut off? So you have to write this answer. Like you have to write fully. Yes, you can write the store water, it's not clean, it's not fresh, or you feel that it's unhygienic, or the boring water is not good quality. Then you have to write everything. If there's a water cut off, what are the problems you face? I hope you're clear. Yes. You can write that you use alternate boring water. If I tell you about myself, when we don't, when there's no water supply, so in RO, the taste becomes different. So that's what it means if I get the water supply for the water purifier from somewhere else. So you can write that the tank water is not. How concerned are you usually about the electricity cut? And you have below is the example of how concerned are you, with 7 points being very concerned and 1 point being not concerned at all. So if there's electricity cut, no, we're not talking about storage. You're not using the electricity to store water. Even to, use the RO or the purifier, you have to use electricity. If you're not concerned at all, then you have to put it at 1 or 2. Because I have inverter, so I think it is not for me. Yes, you can either go for 1 or 2. So you must be having a touch panel. It's not the liver one. So it's much more difficult for you. So you can put it in very concerned or concerned. I hope everyone is clear. Let's move forward. How much has the power outage affected you from using electricity in your daily life? The electricity cut, how affected are you? How much you have to give the scale? Not affected at all. Very affected is 7. So in between these, in this scale, you have to select which one do you go for. A19. When using a water purifier, how inconvenient are you due to the power outage or electricity cut? For this would be very uncomfortable if you use the water purifier. 1, not uncomfortable or convenience at all. If somebody who's having touch panel, because they can't even get out the water from it without even using electricity to touch the panel, so it won't, if there's a power cut and you have inverter, then of course you won't be affected at all, right? So I have to select accordingly. You have to understand, in water purifier, there's a water tank, right? The moment you take dispensed water from there, it gets out autofill, right? In your case, I don't know, like some people are they keep the electricity cut off, whenever they need it. In that case, how many problems do you face and how inconvenient it is for you? You may write that it's somewhat uncomfortable, which is 5, or you can put it at 6 that it's uncomfortable because there is an uncomfort for you, right? So if you must choose 5, 6 or 7. Like how uncomfortable are you? Like somewhat uncomfortable, or you uncomfortable or very uncomfortable? It's very, then you have to select the 7 scale. And if the frequency is less and if you're able to fill the water, then 5 or 6. A20, how many times in a day do you experience electricity cut? And how many a time do you experience electricity cut each day in a day? First option is per day, in like if twice the power cut and electricity is cut in each day, or if there's no time that you're getting the electricity cut, and you have to put the average. if you get, if the power cut is once or twice in a week, or and you have to give the duration also of the power cut, either 1 hour, 2 hours. So you have to give the duration as well. If I think in summers we just get the electricity cut. Otherwise, there's no electricity cut most of the times. But I do have the inverter. Okay, according to your choices, you must write. If there is no power cut or electricity cut at all, then you may write NA. Next question, it's similar. So you can write 2 to 3 hours into 60 minutes, or you can put minutes into 60. So 120. So I hope everybody who has answered has given with the best of knowledge, and then we'll move forward. V1, do you currently own a water purifier at home? If you do not have, then you must write no, I have not. And if they have, you can write yes, I have. And the brand of the current water purifier, if nobody, and if they have another brand, they can put it in others and specify. This is a multiple choice. You can choose more than one option, but what motivated you to purchase your current water purifier? So what all things and what all factors motivated you to purchase your current water purifier? You have to choose whatever is applicable. Who has not purchased the water purifier, they must write NA for that question. You can select whatever applies for you, and you can select more than one option. Next question, what were you worried about purchasing the water purifier? So it means, what were the things which were in your mind at the time you were purchasing the water purifier? So what were you worried about? Please select all. What were the things which were making you hesitant, or which made you hesitate to buy a water purifier? Like, what were the reasons why you were not buying? Yeah, you can write that also. So whoever has already bought the water purifier, they must be knowing what were the things which made them, hesitant while purchasing the water purifier. What were the reasons they were worried about? So they must write. And yes, who have not bought the water purifier, what were the reasons which made them not to buy it? So the following are various factors to consider when purchasing a water purifier. When you purchase your water purifier, how important were each of the following factors? So there are different factors given when you are purchasing a water purifier. So out of these factors, that particular factor, how important was that factor? You have to select from 1 to 7. 1 means not important at all. 7 means that factor, particular factor is very, very important. Fourth is neutral. It's neither too important nor it's not at all important. So if we talk about filter performance, how important that factor is, you have to select that from the particular scale. So if you think it's important, if it's not too important, then you must mark 5, 6. If you think it's very, very important, you must give a scale of 7. And if you think it's not so important, you can give 2, 3. So if you think it's neither important nor it's not important, you must give 4. Water taste, smell of water, hygiene function. Hygiene functions means the UV filtration. What about the 9th one? So convenience of receiving water using various containers. So you must get so there's a particular container. Is there a particular container for taking out the water purifier water? So there are containers given for the water purifier specifically. So if we get about the mixer grinder, there's a particular container from where you can. So yeah, there are water purifiers which they give their own container. So how convenient it is. If we talk about Indians, we use glass bottles to drink water from the water purifiers. But yeah, there are containers also from which they store it. Water tank type. What type of water tank? Is it reservoir or direct water flow type? Water tank type means the tank which you have, you must be storing water, and maybe there are areas where they don't get the water tanks. So after filtering, you get that water. So you have water tank, you have to give the ranking. How important was this factor? For some, it matters that we don't want to, so how important is it? Like what you have to think, 7 means it's very, very important. And 1, it's least important. So you must ask if anything you want to ask. It's very, very important because there's a new product which we launched. For each factor, you have to give the points. You don't have a water purifier, so you just have to write Na, right? So if you don't have a water purifier, what will you do? In B6, what are the important factors in deciding to purchase a water purifier? So these are so you have to give the top 4 factors in order of importance, which you will consider, which will be most considered. So you have to, it is applicable for all of you. Either you don't have it or you have it. So you have to tell me the factors which you would consider to be the most important. You can write the number or you can write the whole word, but ensure the 4 factors, the most important. In B5, it must be relating with the B5 and B6. So the both must be interrelated, right? I'll repeat again. In B5, whatever you've selected for 7, so out of those factors, you have to put in because in B5, whatever was the important factors which you thought, it's not like in B5 you have written, if you have rated 1, but you're, considering it to be most important in the B6. So I think that will be wrong answer. So for whatever you have given pointer number 7, that is the most important factor, right? In the B5. So in B6 also, it must be relatable. When using a water purifier, look at the example below to see how important each attribute is and answer with 7 points being very important and 1 point being not important at all. So if you're using a water purifier, the current water purifier, if you're using it, what are the factors which you are very satisfied with, and what are those factors which you're not at all satisfied and you're very dissatisfied? So if you're dissatisfied, you have to give pointer 1, which is not important, satisfied. And if you're very satisfied, that is 7. And if there's in between, according to it, you can give 2, 3, 5, 6. And if you're neither too dissatisfied, neither does dissatisfied, nor too satisfied, you give neutral. Please don't be in a hurry because it's very, very important for us. So yeah, generally, if you want to change the interior, it depends on the model. So B8, when you purchase a product, what are the most important criteria for judging the filter performance? It's not about RO or the purifier. It is about the filter performance. So what are the factors which are very, very important? You have to give the most important factors, most important 3 factors in order of importance. So like there are 4, 5, or even if they're using mineral or copper or size or the filter and how big the filters are, the type of filters, UV, RO, etc. UV filter is different filter, right? In which the water that is UV sterilized or it is sterilized while the purification. You know the UV filtration you must have heard about, and then the number of filtration, how many times the purification happens, years of release, is it the latest model, the brand of the water purifier, because we don't know about the filter, but yes, still we want to know about the brand of the water purifier, brand of filter. Who are very, very technical and understand things, they must be knowing about the brand of filter. Mineral filter function adds on mineral in 100% RO purified water. Like I was telling you, either there is mineral RO recovery rate, I will understand you. So in RO, if you are getting 10 liters of water, out of 10-liter water, how many liters are being filtered and the container? So how many liters of water is being filtered and then you're getting it in the container. So, and how much water is wasted out of it. So I hope you're understanding. So how important is the RO recovery rate? So you have to give that. And whatever you're not understanding, you must let me know. So certification, like many certifications are given about the life and life durability, life of the filters, you must mark. So it's when you're buying the product, what are the important factors from which you will judge the performance? You have to select out of these. B9, when do you feel that the filter performance of water purifier is good? So you have to select up to 3 factors: when the water tastes good, when the water doesn't smell, when there are no impurities in the water, when the water tank of a water purifier fills up quickly, when checking the TDS level of purified water, when measuring pH level of purified water, when checking amount of wastewater, or the change indicator is on. So out of these, you have to select the most, like the 3 factors in order of importance. And then you think that the performance of the filter of the water purifier is good. As you're judging, so if tomorrow you're going to buy a water purifier, so it will be applicable for you, right? When you purchase a product, how do you get to know that the product has a hygiene related product? So there are different tanks, plastic tanks or stainless tank also. They say that it's not hygiene. The plastic ones are not so hygienic, but steel ones are more hygienic. And if the water purifier has UV filtration, then it's more hygienic. So you can read material of the water purifier, stainless steel. On what factors do you get to know the hygiene related performance? Water tank or water purifier, UV function, if it's possible to clean the inside of the water purifier. 4th, filter performance, year of release. 6th, brand of water purifier. 7th, maintenance service, AMC, certification mark. 9th, others, hygienic filter change or mouth. 10th, manage flash regular to provide cleaning service. If any other, 10th, if any other. So it's related, hygiene related. You must choose those options which are very, very important to you. B11, when do you feel only for those owners, only for those who owns a water purifier? So for those who don't have a water purifier, they must write NA. When you feel the hygiene or performance of the water purifier is good. So you have to let us know. You have to select when the water tastes good, when the water doesn't smell, when there are no impurities in the water, when watching the UV lights on, when measuring the TDS level of purified water, which is lower than the tap water. Sixth, checking amount of wastewater, when the MC service engineer manager will. Then eighth, washing the inside of the water purifier, example, washing water tank, etc. Watching the filter change indicators on, need to receive the managed service such as filter change, etc. You have to understand the question. For those who owns a water purifier, when do you feel that the hygiene performance of the water purifier is good? So in our minds, when we talk about water purifiers, it is installed, but the conditions and the hygienic conditions, how do you get to know that how is it hygienic? If some people think that the UV filtration light is on, then they think that yes, it's just cleaning. It is the UV performance is happening. So yes, earlier you did not get the indication of filter change. So if they get the filter indication, the moment the filter has a problem, and we don't have to drink dirty water, so we have to change the filter change. You have to give the top three, what all you consider. B12, please evaluate the preference from 1 to 7, where 1 is don't like it at all, and 7 is I like it very much. So I will show you a concept. There are two concepts. B12, slide B12. One concept is A and the other concept is B. I hope you're able to see the A concept, that is UV filtration, where the water is sterilizing within the process of purification. And concept B, which is UV LED in tank, where the UV LED is on and the UV water ultra rays is passed, it is purified, and the water which is into the water and which is stored in the water tank, the bacteria, the UV filtration will happen. Like, it will not create any bacteria. So that's happening in the tank. And in this, it's happening in the process of filtration. So whatever water they get in the tank, they must get the bacteria. UV LED. I hope the concept A and B is clear. So please evaluate for the preference in each from 1 to 7. 1 is don't like it at all. 7 is I like it very much. So in concept A, do you like it a lot? Are you dissatisfied? Okay. 1 is you're not at all satisfied, and 7 means you're very satisfied. I hope you're clear. So for B13, you have to give the preference. First one was satisfaction, like how satisfied are you for each concept, and B13 is the preference, which one you're liking. Is it the concept A or concept B which you're liking? You just have to answer whether you like it or you don't like it. Part C, where did you install your currently owned water purifier? Again, only for those who owns the water purifier. Where did you install it? These are the 7 options. If the 6 options which are in the beginning are not applicable, but the 7th one is, so you have to select the 7th one. Hanging on the wall in between the countertop and upper cabinet. Countertop where your gas stove is there, and upper cabinet in between that. Next one is next to the upper cabinet, on the side of the upper cabinet. Third in the upper cabinet and put on the cabinet. So it's basically an extension for the upper cabinet, the third number, and then fourth in the upper cabinet and hanging on the wall. First one, it's in the upper cabinet. It is just placed. You've just put it on the cabinet. You've taken the support of the cabinet. But here it is hanging. So in the fourth one, there's nothing below that. In the third one, there was a board which was supporting. Fourth, above the sink. Fifth, sixth, under the sink. There are so many. So there's a Kent water purifier. Yes, the countertop is below. Moving on, C2. I hope you've marked it. C2, why did you install the water purifier at that place? Why did you install the water purifier at that place? You have to select all. The kitchen is so small that there's no space to install other than current location. So maybe according to the space in the kitchen, please select all that applies, that you can select more than one option. Only current installation type product was sold. I want to purchase it. The product was available in the same manner, so I had to purchase, as the place is this only. Third, purchase it because the product I used before was same installation type and was familiar with it. So now you're using the same as you used to use it before. And just maybe, but it took a lot of space. You had to install it any other place, but because of the water purifier's shape and size, you couldn't. Sixth, I had to install it in that place because of the water pipeline, because the water pipeline is near. So maybe that's why you chose that place. So sixth is to install the water purifier in the kitchen was decided. So I had no choice. It was already decided. Even if we talk about the builders and the dealers, they have already installed the pipings and everything. Seven, the height installed now was the most convenient location to use. The current location was considered the most convenient place in the terms of moving line. So when you are moving in the kitchen, when you're roaming around in the kitchen, so according to that, 9, consider the location of the outlet, water pipe, etc. Again, how and where the outlet of water pipe is, what's the water pipe for the wastewater. So even if there's others, then you must specify. It was a location that could minimize the exposure of the water purifier hose, pipeline, etc. If in the kitchen, wherever it is installed, there is no alt location, it will not be, if it is installed in the kitchen sink. So this is the chopping area or this is the cooking area. They cannot install there because it will be a hindrance then. So it is applicable that you can choose more than one option. C3, how satisfied are you with the installation? 1 being very dissatisfied. You're just using it. 7, you're very, very satisfied. And if they don't have a water purifier, you must write NA. So does your water purifier have an out sediment filter? The models, like earlier models which used to come in Kent also. So there's a sediment filter and there are 3-4 filters inside the purifier. So the new models, it's everything is installed inside the model, inside the product. So you have to select. In C4, who have said yes, did you pay extra for it? When you installed it, then I think it will not happen. If I talk about branded ROs, they don't have an outside sediment filter, but they still get installed because it gives extra filtration. The more dust, the most impurities, they are there in the out sediment filter. So they must know that out sediment filter changes in 3 to 4 months, or I think 6 months in the max, but the filters inside, they are just changed once in a year. So, yeah, if you have an out sediment filter for it, you must tick on yes, and then you have to write how much extra did you pay for it. C6, assuming that you purchase a new water purifier, where would you like to install? Please select installation type that you most prefer. Where will you install it? If you're buying a new one, option 1, hanging on the wall and between the countertop and the upper cabinet. Countertop is where you place all the gas knob, gas hobs. Second, next to the upper cabinet. Third, in the upper cabinet and put on the cabinet. That inside the cabinet, on the shelf, on the slab, and fourth, in the upper cabinet and hanging on the wall. It is in the upper cabinet, but it's hanging. No shelf or no slab below that. Above the sink, on the desk. 98 is others, and the sixth is under the sink. This question is for everyone. C7, how concerned are you about punching or drilling on the wall, tile, sink, or sink wall, etc. to install water purifier? So if you're living in rent, or so there are some instructions for Signature Global that without they are not allowed to drink. So right, there's some, so you can write, so not concerned at all, you don't have any problem, you may drill. Very concerned that you do not think of drilling, you cannot drill, cannot punch. So if I talk about, so then there is a tension for it, right? So it will be concerned. 1 means not concerned at all. You're not at all concerned. Second, yes, a bit concerned. Third, yes. Fourth, it's neutral. You are neither concerned. Fifth is yes, you are somewhat concerned. 6 means concerned. 7 means very, very concerned. How concerned are you about to install a water purifier? How concerned are you? Above the sink, if you have to drill or punch, then how concerned are you? Whether you can or whether you can't. C8, how concerned are you about installing a water purifier in or at the space? Take a look at the example below to see how concerned are you with. 7 points very concerned, 1 point when very not concerned. There are 6 points given. So according to that, you have to give points. So number 7. Number 1, not concerned at all. that you can drill, there's no tension, you're not concerned, you can install here. 7 means there's a tension. If you do the drilling, or maybe there's must be some problem, uh, maybe there must be some problems which will occur if the drilling happens. So one, hanging on the wall and between the countertop and upper cabinet. If you have a lot of tension, then of course 7. And if you are not concerned, then 1. So you must see the tension level. 1, not concerned at all. 7 is very concerned. Next to the upper cabinet, in the upper cabinet, put on the upper cabinet, in the upper cabinet, hanging on the wall, above the sink, under the skin. So maybe you're thinking you have tension. So it must be another option. If it's not hygienic, if it's so, it must be 7, right? So what about if there's a problem about the space? Then you must choose 1, 2, 3. The point is, where do you want to install when you are comfortable? According to that, you have to select. So you must, so according to you, maybe above the sink or hanging on the wall between the countertop and upper cabinet must be problematic, because there's a rack for the utensils, or there must be a few things already installed. So maybe if there is concern, then you will put 7. And under the sink, it must be 1, 2, or 3, because it's easier and it's okay for you. Okay, now it is for D1, for water purifier. What type of water purifier do you use? Please select up to 3 in order to frequency. There's a club versus product. Cup slash glass. So bottle, tumbler, cup, glass. So you can write cup or glasses, which is the first option. Bottle, tumbler, second option. Third is the jar option. 4 others which you specify. You know, even in the pot, yeah, even in summers. So first 3 options you have to fill. D1, 2, again, water purifier. What's the capacity of each container? Easily used for getting the water from water purifier. So you must not be knowing, but yes, you have to give an estimate. So with ml, if you think, you must, if it's 300 ml, if you talk about the bottles, if it's 1 liter of bottle or 750 ml, or the jars, if it's 500 to 600 ml, according to that, earlier you've written which what do you use the most. So we just want to know the capacity which you generally use, how much is it. At one point of time, you takes what amount of water from the water purifier. Water purifier only, who use water bottle, tumbler. Why do you use water bottle for what from the water purifier for drinking? So some people, they just store, they must fill it, the water bottle, and then they go out, or they must store it after filling the water bottle. So these are the multiple choice which you can choose. First, to take the water with me when I go out. Second, it is inconvenient to get the water several times in other waters. Inconvenient to get the water purifier from the water from the top. Either you have to stretch, either you don't have to stretch. To keep the temperature, for a long time. So the Milton bottles, or there are so many bottles, right, which keep the same temperature. Maybe the tumbler water, so that it keeps it hygienic from water cups. They think that it's much more hygienic. Any other option you can write. D14, water purifier owners only. D21 for owners. What kind of containers do you usually use for water purifiers? For cooking. Earlier, it was for drinking. Now it's for cooking. Maybe some uses boiled water, or they keep jars. So when do you think, cup or glass? If you're using glass for cooking, then it will be the first option. This is your preference for first, second, third. D2 is similar to D1, D2. You have to put the capacity. If you're using the same utensil, then you have to put that. The drinking water, generally they drink it in the glass or in some other way. So in your house, you have to let me know how it is in your house. So for cooking, they especially use a bowl, or they use my wife uses a tumbler for cooking either. They just use that for cooking. Coming to D31, what kind of container do you usually use when you get the water from your purified water from washing? So it is the cooking purposes, the last wash, right? You don't, if you don't use it, then you can write in it. Those using water purifier water for the last rinse, for the last wash, for the utensils, either the cooker. So to supply the water. That we do directly under the, but we don't store it, I think. Okay. When they do the last rinse, or for the same utensils, but they don't fill it in some other container, or either if it's lentils, or if it's for the pulses, or if so you directly fill it in there and then rinse it, right? You must leave it first. You must leave this question for a while and then we'll get back to it. D3. Is there a case where you get purified water and store it separately? So like I was telling, if you're filling the water bottles from the water purifier, for in some houses they have their own water bottles, so I just fill it and then they drink it from the water bottles, or they take it in the room. Or some, during the summer season, generally they just fill the water bottle in the water pot. And the Mayuj are also. So even in the later, in the earthen pot, they must, in the earthen pot also they use it. Coming for D4, in D1, if you've written 1, why do you store purifier water separately? The reason, I've given you so many different reasons, so you have to select out of that the biggest reasons. There are no multiple answers. You have to select just one. You just have to give the most and the biggest important reason. My arm hurt to get water every time from the water purifier. To get water from a child, because my kids are unable to fill the water, get a large amount of cooking water. I just, take out the cooking water to add things like minerals. They must add extra minerals, like whatever is available in the market. If you do not fill it or do you store it at all, even in the fridge, it's not any, right? That's also storage. If you're keeping the water bottles or anything in the fridge, and that's also storage. Storage means you have to understand, you're not using the RO again and again. You're just storing the water bottles and then keeping it. But there must be multiple reasons. Please select one of the biggest reasons. In D4, you can take the second option, but you have to give the percentage. For fridge, to make it cold, for 80%, just you store it for to get it cold. 20%, that you use it for the cooking water. For kids or for preparing in case of insufficient water supply, or receive the water in advance, water capacity, whatever, you have to just give the percentage capacity. Mainly it will be to make it cold, according to your home, 70%, 80%. So whatever your case is. Where do you usually store water bottles, pot, etc. that you received from water purified? At room temperature, in the refrigerator, or both? Like I told you, they keep it at the room temperature or they keep it in the refrigerator, or both. You must choose one. If you don't use, so D6, you have to understand, how often do you get the purified water and store it? What's the frequency? More than twice a day? Not like that there is bottle and then you fill it. Otherwise, generally, they have a time slot that morning they will fill the water bottles, all the water bottles, and then afterwards, or either they will fill the water bottles at night and then they sleep. So it depends. So more than twice a day, or twice a day, once a day, once every 2-3 days, once every 4 to 5 days. So the question, when do you usually get water from your water purifier and store separately using bottle, pot, etc.? So if they're using earthen pots, or if they're using bottles, when do you use it? In the morning, what percentage? Evening, daytime, nighttime, before go to bed? Which time of the day? What percentage of water do you store? So the total should be 100%. In a whole day, if you're filling 15 liters of capacity, 8 liters, you fill it in the morning or in the daytime, and then 4 liters in the night. So you have to make it 50% it is in the morning, and 3 to 4 times then 25%, and 3 to 4 times in the night, then 25%. So like that. Moving ahead, how much water do you store it at a time? So if you have bottles, the capacity, you must know the capacity of the water bottle and how many water bottles. So according to that, so if it is 650 ml or 700 ml, and how many water bottles are there? It depends. And how many bottles do you have? You have to give the total liters which you fill or which you store. 5 to 6 liters, 4 to 5 liters. You have to select that. What's the water tank capacity? It's the water tank capacity. The water purifier nowadays, they have the capacity which is less. Earlier, it had 10 or 12. So you have to check yours. You have to get to know yours, and then you have to assume, like if you're filling the water bottle of 1 liter at once, how many bottles are being filled? Now you have to think, and it will be very, very beneficial if you give the exact number in exact liters. If we talk about D3, 1, you must give others. If you're using any other utensil or any other container, you must have to write the utensil name and the capacity as well, and the liter and the capacity. D3, 1, which we've left. If you're using any other utensil apart from the cup, glass, bottle, tumbler, jar, so you must write in other specify. And in D4, but that must be the biggest reason, right? So you've written what is the capacity of the current. How satisfied are you? 1 means very dissatisfied. 7 is very satisfied. And 4 pointed means neutral, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. If you purchase the water purifier in the future, what capacity do you want to purchase? How many liters of water purifier do you need? Is it important or not? Not important is 1, very important is 7, and it's neutral. Neutral is 4. D13, what specific gravity do you use hot, cold, ambient water on a daily basis? So for some, they have water purifier, they get hot water and normal water is ambient water is room water. So what type of water do you use? It's not that you only using the water from water purifier, and you're using it in home also. So overall, not morning, in this, what percentage of water you used, how much, how what percentage do you use the ambient water, how much percentage warm water on a daily basis. So if I talk about refrigerated water, cold water, either you use it for ruafza, either you use it in any way. How, what percentage do you use? If you're using 100 liters of water, total cooking, drinking, but how, like there are homes where they don't use tea, but sometimes they use it for tea. So according to that, they have to write how much percentage of water they're using, the hot water, warm water, room temperature, or cold water. It's applicable for everyone. D14, what temperature of water do you usually drink during the weekdays? For each of the following, please select the temperature of the water you usually drink. Now you have to understand, some people, they get up in the morning and they want hot water, which is 40 to 50 degrees. That's lukewarm water. So some of them are using hot water, boiling water. That's just less than boiling water. Lukewarm water is 40 to 50 degree. Room temperature water, cold water. Do not drink water. So you have to, at what time, what water do you using? So morning, maybe they get up and get lukewarm water. After breakfast, they drink what type of water? Yes, according to that, if you're using hot boiling water in the morning, then that's one. And if you're not drinking, then they don't drink water. Then it will be at the time which you're not drinking. So if you're not drinking hot water in the morning, then you will take, you have to, you have to write one for the hot boiling water, morning breakfast, daytime, evening, nighttime. So you have to pick it out of those. It will be blank if you don't drink hot water. Yes, yes. If you, it's like do not drink water. So do not drink water is there, right? The first question, hot boiling water, in the options, if a person do not drink it at any time of the day, so it is blank, right? So four, right? So at every option, you will just write four. You just write four at every time of the day. And if you do not drink water, then you will just write five. For the weekend also, you have to do similarly. D16, how do you usually get water at each of the following temperatures? When you have to boil, do you use a gas stove or do you use electronic range, using microwave or electronic kettle, water purifier, or 40, 50 degrees? Then which one do you use? Cold water, it's written using 1 to 10 to 20 degrees, and then iced or cold water under 10 degree. What option do you use? In D 17 or 16? If you're using clay pot, do you use it? If you don't use it, then you can leave it as blank. It will be blank if you're not using it. For example, in your home, if there's no electronic kettle, then you will not use it. It's for the usage. Even if you talk about tea, when you're if you're making a tea, then of course you use hot water, even though you're not drinking it at the time, but you use it to make a tea. Then you have to let us know how do you boil it, right? Wherever you're putting a blank, whenever you're leaving a blank, just put an NA that it's not applicable. D17, how much water do you get from the water purifier at once during the weekdays? At one time, you have to give how much water do you get from the water purifier? There are different options. If there's a hot boiling water option, how much water do you get? Warm water, ambient water, which is room temperature, cold water, how many liters do you get it? If more than 6 liters at once, so just think that if you're filling a Mayur jar, at once, how many liters of water do you get? It's not about the whole day. It's about the time you get it once. It's not how much water do you get for the whole day. It's about at once when you're filling the water and the type of water which you're filling. You have to tell me at once you have how much water do you fill from the water purifier. So if you don't have usual, you just fill the water bottles. That's 4 liters at once. Just think that you do not store. Then it will be like in 1 liter, 2 liter. At once, it's not for the full day. No, it's not applicable. You may write NA. If you do not have an air purifier, then of course it's NA for you. It's the second question is for the weekend. Like, in weekdays, they're going to the school. So the consumption in the weekdays are less to fill the water, how much water they use. But if you talk about weekend, then the kids are also there and everyone is there as it's holiday. So of course, how much water do you get from the water purifier at once during the weekend? It may vary. D19, It is only for those who have a water purifier with a hot or warm water feature. Anybody who is here who has this, so for making hot tea, hot or coffee, or to get hot or boiling water right away without waiting, for efficient use of kitchen space, though away electronic kettle, want to have a water purifier with the latest features, or want to drink warm water. So whatever is applicable to you. If you put D20, if you purchase a water purifier which has hot or warm water feature, who wants to buy it in the future? If you do not want to buy it, then yes, NA. But yeah, if you want to buy it, if you are thinking to buy it again, I don't want to use the gas stove for the tea. So obviously, the tank will be different because it will be hot water. So there will be two ways. Either it will be a tank or you will directly get it. But in this case, the tank capacity they're asking, what would be the capacity of the tank which you will be wanting? If you want a hot and warm water feature, T21, what type of water purifier product you currently own? Ambient water plus hot water. Now you have to keep in mind ambient, hot, and cold. That's also you can take, and cold water plus hot water, but not ambient. You can select that also. If you purchase a water purifier in the future, what type of water purifier do you want to purchase among the below? So if you want to purchase it in the future, D23, who mainly maintains and manages the water purifier you currently own? Do you do it yourself, like self-management, or there's a professional management company, or it's a manufacturer AS, or others? Some of them buys an AMC, right? Or if you have Kent RO and the person from the Kent brand only comes, so that will come from manufacturer AS. Maybe others. For example, you're buying it from a shop and they have a tie-up, and then you get a person from there only, from the one place that you've bought. So how do you change the water purifier filter? Now you have to let me know. Use the manufacturers, use the distributors, development maintenance service, use regular maintenance service from regular stores, contact the distributor, contact local store, buy a filter separately and replace it on its own self. $325. How do you spend for ear changing filters? How much do you spend in a year to change the filter? How much money do you spend to change all the filters? If they have an AMC, so what's the price? Is it for 4,000, 5,000 annually, or some of them they are businessmen, then they know from where all do they get, and that's the estimated amount. Okay. If you talk about the owners, moving ahead, which of the following services do you prefer? Self-management requires you to purchase and replace filters yourself, clean the interior exterior by yourself. Second, a method of periodically replacing the filter and cleaning the inside through a maintenance service contract. How inconvenient is it for using a wall mounted water purifier which you install it on the wall? Not comfortable inconvenience at all? Or do you think it's very, very convenient or very uncomfortable? So 7, very uncomfortable. 1 is not uncomfortable at all. So there's no problem at all. Do you always keep the water purifier turned on when you use it? Do you use the water purifier? Is it switch on all the time, or whenever you need it, then only you switch it on? Either it's on all the time, or when you want to use it, then only you switch it on. There are some, because they know the level and it's automatic. You don't switch it off, right? It's on. The tank is full, right? Do you switch it on and off on your own, right? So the point is, if you're switching it off, so according to that, but if it's auto cut off, for example, if you talk about geysers, if the water is hot, if then it auto cut off. But again, if the temperature is going, if the temperature is now increasing, then it switches it on its own. But yes, here, if you manually do it, the options will change. D31 water purifier with hot feature uses only. Is it applicable for you? Think of a situation when you get the water purifier, hot water from the water purifier. Both at all times? Do you keep it on at both times, or keep the water purifier on at all times and then the hot water feature? Then you have a different switch. Turn on and turn off when you receive it. So according to your case, what's feasible and what do you think? Now I'm going to show you a few features and ideas. Now understand the question. All the features, 2-in-1 water solution. On a scale of 7, you have to rate it. 1 means very negative, that it's not your preference. You don't like it. Necessity means you don't even need it. Uniqueness, it's nothing new in it. That's purchase intention, whether you don't want to ingredient it. That's very negative 1. Very positive means 7. And neutral is 4. Again, negative, we are moving towards the positive side. E1 5. E2, all the questions. It is for different features. Even 5 will be for the basic prices. So the basic model and the basic price, if you're what RO, that's 20,000. So now the feature which I'm going to show you, if we think that you really, really like it, everything is good, and I'm ready to pay 20,500 or 25,000. So what you will write is 500 rupees or 5,000 rupees. So for this feature, without this feature, the basic model is 20,000. So the incremented value, additional amount which you're ready to pay for this feature, that amount you have to write. Or E1 5 or E2 5. I hope all the questions are clear. Let's start each. I'll make you understand the concept. If you don't understand, you ask me. So 2-in-1 care. The system offers the convenience located on the side of the water purifier, making it possible to wash fruit, water, vegetables. Normal tap water, it's a better filtration water. In RO, one way from you get the drinking and cooking water, and the other way you will get the better filtered water from the tap water. And one filtration at least, that from there you can wash the fruits or vegetables. You don't have to use RO water, just normal tap water, which is filled with impurities. So 2 in 1 you're getting. So whatever you're drinking, it's RO and purified, but from the one which you're washing the vegetable utensils, and there in some ROs. So in this feature, you have to give the preference. How much do you like it? Necessity, do you need it or not? So they say that purified water I'm drinking, but yes, whatever I wash the utensils and vegetables, it will be a lot of wastage if I use it with the purified water. But for tap water, I'm getting a lot of impurities. I'm not sure whether it's clean. So because the water is not clean. So for those, maybe the preference is high or necessity is high. So you have to rate accordingly. For how much additional you're ready to pay. The basic price is 20,000, I told you. And if this is a feature, how much this feature would it cost you and how much money you are ready to pay? And in the market, how much does it, if you say that purchase intention is no there, I will give one. I don't need this feature. Though still you have to write the amount. How much feature is it worthy for? Don't write NA or don't leave it blank. You have to put the amount which should be there in the market for this feature. According to you, it could be 21, 22,000. We just have to write the amount for the feature, right? Basic model is 20,000. So if this additional feature is adding, so how much money you're ready to pay for it? You have to just write the extra amount. It can be 10, 100,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, whatever you feel about the utility. Clean wash water, next feature. Electrolysis water. There was just one water filter added, but now it's water electrolyzed. So the water is charged. It's the charged water. You can't drink it, but yes, without, if you use detergent or sterilization or whatever the bottles you sterilize in the hot water, like the fruits, vegetables, you don't have to use those things. This water is too strong, it's too charged up that it removes the impurities or blacks, everything. This is a process. Electrolysis is a process which do the electrolysis and segregates the bacteria. It is electrolyzed. In this feature, you have to give the preference, necessity, uniqueness, purchase, intention, and no cheating. You have to give the amount also. Coming on to E3, UV sterilization water outlet. Now, I'm also making you understand the water which you get, it is purified, which is RO. Now companies, they tell you it's UV LED. So UV LED is in the water tank. That the UV filtration is in the water tank. They kill the bacteria. But if I talk about the tap, there are bacteria, right? And the water is also coming out from that. And the air is also getting inside. So this water, the tap, it will send UV rays to the water tap as well. So the water which you're getting out from the water purifier tap, then that is also UV raised and the bacteria will be killed on the tap as well. So the tap itself is UV LED. So all the water which is coming out from the water purifier tap, it is also sterilized. And there will be UV lamp inside the tap. So it will be UV sterilized. Moving on to the next one, this is measure fill. Like if I talk about high tech or when you go outside, you just have to press a button and that amount is already out. This is just an option. Maybe there are different options. 50 ml, 500 ml. You just have to keep, you just want to keep it pressed. You just click it once. You just press it once. And it's auto cut now. The measured fill, like you have to just press on the measured fill, like how much water do you want. Then you will get it that much, and then extra amount of water won't, you don't have to keep it pressed. You know, how do? They just hold one bottle in one hand and the other hand they're just using the lever to fill it. In kitchen, cooking and everything is happening at once. So how convenient is it for you? And now you have to fill the options. Preference, necessity, uniqueness, purchase intention, and how much additional you're ready to pay. Apart from 20,000 base level. If you talk about this feature, how much extra you're ready to pay for this feature. Next, customized fill. So some of them says that we don't have different tumblers, we just use one tumbler and the capacity, I don't know, whatever. So according to that, they can customized fill. How much useful is it for you? Customized fill, you can customize the capacity from which the water would come out. The tumbler, you can give it 300, 500, 1 liter, but every time the water which you will get from the water purifier will be customized and which will be the same. Whatever apparatus you use, E51, assuming that you purchase a new water purifier which has measured fill feature, how much capacity do you want your water purifier to discharge for each water temperature? So if it over measure fill, you have to let me know what capacity of water type do you want. You have to select at least a full capacity which you would want at each water temperature. So at least 4 maximum required capacity. If you give hot water, so how much capacity do you want? The measured fill you want. Like if I over hot water, you can say that yes, I don't use it less, then it's 200 or 500 or 1 or 2 options. Yes, it will be multiple. This is for one-time usage, or I think one time only, measured fill. So, but you have to give 4 options. In hot water, you give to have 4 options: warm, ambient water, cold water. For all these water types, you have to give at least 4 options. Please select only one capacity you would like the water purifier to provide for each water temperature. In the earlier one, you have to give 4, at least 4 required capacity based on one-time water discharge. Okay, now if I talk about hot water, so you have to fill it here. Please make us understand again. Okay. Please understand. I'll just repeat once. What happens? The company wants to know if there are three options. 250, 500,000. So company wants to know four options in any one. So for each water type, one hot, warm, ambient, cold. So you have to choose four different capacities. Then the preferred capacity measured, if you put four different, but still the ones which they choose one only, one capacity, that will be better. For hot water, you want this capacity at least that's necessary and that you actually need. So you have to give at least four options that according to you, that hot water, you must be getting 100 ml, 200 ml. Let's move forward. Coming on to customized fill. You won't get the option. You have to choose accordingly. So you set it, and as many times as you press that button for the discharge of water, then you will get the same capacity of water. So with liver, there's no options as such. It's just about pressing the options. If there's a tumbler, it's more applicable if you have a single tumbler. Like if you talk about the jar, then you can customize the capacity. But if you have bottle tumbler more than one, then it must not be so applicable. So according to your usage, you have to answer the preference why, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, the necessary wise, whether it's important or not on a scale of 1 to 7. 1 very negative, 7 very positive, 4 neutral. How unique is it? Do you have an intention to purchase, and how much additionally are you ready to pay for? If you do not want to buy it, even though if you don't want to buy, but still, how much do you think, how much will you be willing to pay additionally? Wi-Fi smart option. In your app, it will be installed in your phone. This will tell you in a whole day how much water is being discharged, how much you're consuming, how TDS level it gives. It will provide you the call center numbers, the filter change, how much filter change is there. It will tell you like a smart feature. How did you like it? You have to give the scales plus the additional price ready to pay. Next, up and down water outlet. When you go to the restaurants or when you go out there, commercial ROs or water dispensers. So the faucet there, you have to do up and down. So here, up and down water outlet. So if the water bottle is little, then you just put it upwards. If the water bottle is bigger, so the water doesn't spill. So of course, if you put it from above, then it's hot water. So if you talk about dispensers, so you can, if you're getting the water from a height and it's up, then of course it may spill on your hands, or so up and down water outlet. How important is it? And how much extra amount are you willing to pay additionally for this feature? For this feature, for every question, we are just talking about the feature. You don't have to think that for earlier feature I've given 500, so next I will be adding 200 and then I'll write 700. No, for each and every, I have to answer individually. Hybrid hot warm function, you get 3 functions: hot water, warm water, and ambient water. So mostly now in ROs, they get hot water and ambient water. But you don't have a cold option. It has warm, 45 degrees, for tea 80 degrees, and ambient water. How much do you like this feature? What's your preference? And then necessity and everything. In this water purifier, it would have 3 options: hot water, warm water, and ambient. Ambient is your room temperature water. Hot water is 80-degree, which is already there in ROs in this day. But yes, warm water, there's no function like that right now. So some of them says that we want warm water because it's not, we don't want too hot water because we have to, otherwise I have to vomit in the gas stove. So according to the so that what if they drink luke and warm water, if we talk about health, so they are drinking warm water as well, so they must be thinking to add on this feature. Instant heating, earlier option was there was a tank, but here from where we will get, but it's instant heating here. There's no tank. Whenever you press, it will take a few, it will take some time, but at the time it is discharging, at that time it is only getting it heated. So it will take some time, but yes, the water will come discharge and it will be heated. It can be heated instantly without the hot water tank. So of course, if you keep it in a tank, it will you take much more energy to keep it hot. But yes, whenever you want hot water, you select that feature and then you will get hot water instantly. Which type of hot water feature would you prefer? Storage, water tank, or instant heating type? After that, next feature, E6. Yeah, before answering that, storage boiling water type, and then is it shown instant? So if I talk about electricity consumption storage, the speed in instant will be less because it is heated, and then the waiting time for the storage time you get instantly. But yeah, it is delayed for 5 seconds when you want instant. Then you can answer which one you like, the storage boiling water or instant heating type. Next USP, it's mineral water, mineral filter. The concept says water storing, it is passing through RO filter, containing RO filter, passes through the mineral filter. It's basically the purification. At the time of purification, all the minerals are there. This is an additional mineral filter added to the RO. So if the water is passing through this filter, then minerals will be adding to the water which you'll get. You can take minerals every time you drink water. So it's an additional from the RO filter. It's an addition. So you have to rate E11.6. What kind of minerals would you like to be added? So what kind of minerals which you would like to have it in the filter, which should be added? I Because nowadays the ROs, they have copper filter, right? Then some of they say copper you should not drink at all times. Only in the morning you can drink copper, but not every time. If you if you if you dilute it with lemon, then it will become poisonous, right? So out of these minerals, which one would you be like, which you like? Brown water, spring water, so it has iron also. So what do you think, what minerals should be added? E12, about 75% recovery rate. So if 10 liters of water and 4 liters, the recovery rate is 40%. So let's think, it's truth, the capacity is 30 to 35 liters. 35%. The 10 liters they get the water, but 3 liters or 3.5 liters it is purified. But other 7 or 7.5 liters, it's wasted. So it's now saying 75% recovery rate. For example, if there's 10 liter of water, then 77.5 liters you will get it with filtered, but 2.5 liters which is not being filtered. And the extra amount which you want to pay. And after that, E12.5. If it's 60, if it's not 75, 65, so the addition, it was 30 to 75, right? So the recovery rate was 3 liters to 7.5 liters. But if the companies, if I look at the concepts, the company concept that 75 liters, but it's not practical. The company is unable to achieve that. So now 60 liters, 60% recovery rate. What do you think? If instead of 3 liter, you're getting 6 liters, which is being filtered and recovered. Did you ever know that your water, the recovery rate of the RO was what? Do you even know the percentage? Is it wasted or do you get it? Whoever already knew, they must raise their hands. And if they don't know, then be true to yourself. It's a learning that the customers must know, right? They don't know about all of these things. Next question, it's related to those. Is the water recovery rate of RO filter is important while purchasing a water purifier? Do you think it is an important aspect? If it's not important, not at all important, 1. If it's very important, then 7. The USPs, you have to choose the top 3 and you have to give the numbering. All the USPs are given. So the most which you've liked, that yes, the company has did such a good thing, you have to give your ranking. Moving on to the concept. Ranking is done and the features which were written is also taken into consideration now. First concept, compact size water purification. So it is a compact size. The water purifier which you have is of this shape, the base size it will be like this. For example, it's 260 ml, the height 475 ml, with 325 ml. So if I use the compact, it's the option, the question, you have to mark F1, that it's the compact size water purifier. Do you want it or not? We have three options, which we'll get to, out of which you like or not like. But the concept itself, it is the compact water size water purifier, whether you require it or not. First, you have to give that. On that basis, you have to give the answers for preference, uniqueness, necessity, purchase intentions, and additional, which you're ready to pay. A, option A, option B, and C. If you see, this is the C option. B is like this. You can check the width, the height. I hope you're understanding. If you see like that, it is explained that the height is 400 mm, width is 180 mm, and it's 350 mm. So you can compare the base size. It has such a huge difference. So which one do you like from the A, B, and C? So there are three of them. So the concept is the compact. So according to you in the kitchen, which one do you like? The base is big. They can use it, but they don't want the RO to be too out of there, because it is difficult for them to wash the utensils. The water tank capacity would be the same, even though the size changes. No, you just have to look at the size. I can understand it depends, it's a depending variable, but right now we are talking about the size. It depends on the company, how it will fit the water tank. We will not go into that. We are checking each and every. So if you talk about the size, wherever it is being installed, so how should it be? Okay. Which size of water purifier do you select considering the exterior size and capacity of water tank? Which do you like the most? So what is the one which you really like? And then the considering all the information, the features of each product explained so far, which you've liked the most, and the specifications. I hope you'll able to see the specifications. Yes. The height is 400 mm. This is shorter and this is bigger. And in the side, if you see, the base level is 350 mm and this is 300 mm. It is a bit shorter. So almost it is coming outwards, which is 240 mm. And this is the most compact from the side, but the width is less. So this is the idea for all the lockups, which you will want to understand how it must look. I hope it's clear. About the amount, depth, height, which size you want to be. What are the things which you want to reduce? Width, height, or depth? Whatever you don't like. So if there are three options, you must go for NA. same type water outlet which can be used to fit the kitchen. So the water outlet, you can move it from here and there. If I talk about the sink, if you cannot install it in this way, so there's a slab. So what they've done is, the water purifier, you can make the knob from where you will get the water discharge. Preference, necessity, uniqueness, and then the basic price. Water purifier that is easily to get water without holding separated outer water outlet. You have to understand the feature. The water outlet, it is not with the water purifier. Like you told me in the beginning, there are water purifiers which are on this above the sink and the outlet is given above. So there's water purifier won't be installed, but the tap, the connection, which will be installed in the sink, where an extra faucet will be there. Like in kitchen, they have shelves and for utensils and where they keep all the utensils. So it's for there. How did you think about this concept? You have to give the marks, the preference, necessity, uniqueness, and purchase intention. Now, one touch outlet in water purifier, that is easily to get the water without holding the water lever. You don't have to hold the lever while taking out the water. You don't have to hold the water bottle as well. Two things together. One, you may put the water bottle or glass, and second, it's the touch button. You just touch it and then either measured one or it should be a customized. Either it can be one of those, but with one touch outlet. As much as you want, that much water is there. You can do two things at the time without holding anything. Concept 5, multi-installation water purifier. Water purifier installed anywhere without, it's multi-installation. You can take it from, but you can use it efficiently since it can be installed according to your situation. Conveniently used, not used for only for drinking, but yes, you can install anywhere. But the tap will be within the sink, near the sink only. Concept 6, hygienic water purifier. Hygienically purifies with RO filters or manages water storage, water tank. Hygienic manages the tank, use the water connection. So step 1 comes with all the water purifiers and purification. And nowadays they're giving step 2, UV LED. They get UV LED there and it is sterilized. This is wherein it is in the tank as well as on from the tap you can get it. You can tell me how much did you like this feature? F66, which do you like the most? Select which one do you like the most. So now they have separated. So what one the one which you really liked? Stainless water pipes, all the water pipes? Do you, what washer? electrolysis water. These are the three. Out of these three, you have to choose which one do you really like. Considering all the explanations for each feature explained, which one do you like the most? Please rank 1 to 7 in order of preference. Which one did you really like? You have to give that feature. Compact size, water outlet, separated water outlet. One more thing I forgot to tell you. As the name says, it should be swinging, like you can move it around. Like wing type water outlet in kitchens. Either you get it the tap, so it can be moved anywhere. It's not fixed. It is fixed with the sink, but the pipe, which will be movable, which you can move. One touch outlet, multi installation water purifier. But yes, it is fixed like the faucet. And again, hygienic water purifier. Which one do you like? First, second, third. You can rate it. F7, considering all the features of each concept explained so far, which do you like the most? Select one that you most prefer. F6. So out of these three, you have to choose. Like I told you earlier. Stainless water pipes versus dual UV versus electrolysis water. So out of these three, you have to choose. And then you have to choose first and second rank. Then we had now you get the comparison. These three options are for hot water. A, B, C. If you see, it's telling all the features and all the things, right? The width, height, and depth is given. You won't understand like that, but yes, you can get the idea comparatively. The main filter is RO plus UV plus, in this, RO plus UV plus copper, RO plus UV plus copper. So minerals mix, copper, magnesium, or whatever minerals you would want to add, zinc and everything. But yes, if you get 60%, 25%, and 70%, these are three different models. Ambient and hot water, which is provided to you. The capacity, water tank, 9.2 elastic and 3.2 FPS, stainless steel, and 5 liter SPF. Hot water temperature, 4580, 4580, 4580. Heating time 3 minutes to 8 minutes. That's different for both. So in both, the water purifier will be there, but in this, it will not be there. Sanitary features, UV filter, UV water tank sterilization, water outlets, not in that. And TDS, you don't know, it can be there. You will get to know the TDS level which you're getting. Then manipulation system, up and bottom lever, customized feature, not in both of them, but yes, in this Wi-Fi feature, not in these two, but yes, in this one, it can be there. You have to let me know out of these three, you have to select which one do you like.
Now, with this sheet I'm showing you, the prices of all the three are shown. I hope it is changed on the screen. For A, it's 25,399. Second B, 23,699. And C, wherein all the things 31,999. F6, F8. The question F8, you have to answer on that basis. Next, coming on to the next one, hot water feature. So it's just ambient water feature. Even I can't see it right now. Just a second. Is there any other way? So I'll explain again. With high dimensions, 365 into 500 to 283, SK 300 into 450 into 240, which is which is very short. The main feature RO plus UV plus mineral, Q RO plus UV plus copper, R RO plus UV plus copper again, S RO plus UV plus minerals. Feature recovery PK 60%, R 25%, S 60%. Flow rate T 25 liters per hour, Q 24 liters per hour, R 15 liters per hour, S 30 liters per hour. For 1 liter, if it's on for 1 hour. Mineral filter, all minerals, Q only copper, R only copper, S again minerals. Capacity material, P 1 liter, but SPF tank, stainless steel tank, Q 1 liter, plastic tank, R 7 liters, SPF tank, S 5 liters, SPF tank. That's stainless steel. Sanitary features, water tank, UV water tank sterilization, not in tap, only in water tank. With UV filter in sterilization, that's only filter, only the process which I showed. When the water gets clean, purified. So that's the filter. There's UV filter, water after water filterization, the tank will sterilize. The water outlet, in these three, the water outlets, the sterilization is also there in the water outlet as well as the UV sterilization. Output TDS, it's not in the three, but yes, in this one, the TDS is there. Manipulation system, in this, it's their touch. The customized feature, Wi-Fi feature, you don't have in these three, but yes, in this one. And other features like copper infused water, Q, you have it, that copper is infused, but not in others. According to you, PQRS, which one do you like? Preference wise, if you talk about the price, P 23,399, Q 22,199, R 19,599, and S 27,999. How many are living in the household, including yourself? Please select all the members who live with you. Grandparents, parents, spouse, children, siblings, relatives, friends, thus specify. What type of house do you live in? Apartment, bungalows, villas, farmhouse, condominiums? Condominiums is like flats. Do you own the house? When was your current house built? What type of kitchen do you have in your house? G6, traditional, modular kitchen. Maybe it is asked just because of the renovation you must be needing or not. What type of kitchen do you have? Remodeled. Did you remodel or did you not? It's as it is. If I talk about traditional kitchen type, if you want to make it a modular kitchen type in the future, are you willing to remodel but will keep the existing wet kitchen structure, willing to remodel and will change to a modular kitchen type? No intention of remodeling and will use the original existing kitchen. So, what is the shape layout of your kitchen? One wall, L shape, U shape, P shape, gallery, 11 shape. So, I think they're not in. Please select all the locations in the kitchen. Do you have a Wi Fi home? How much is average monthly water bill? How much do you pay for electricity on average per month? Approximate total monthly household income from all sources before taxes. Just an idea, approximate the income. How big is your home in square feet? If it's 135 yards, then you have to multiply by 9. I think it's 1200 square feet then. Or indicate your occupation and statements which are there to attitudes and habits which will describe. It's a scale for 5. Do not agree at all. That you're not at all agree. And if you're totally agreeing, that it's 5. 3 is neutral. You keep it at the 7 scale. How much do you agree? You have to let me know. 7 means you're totally agreeing while purchasing a product to examine hygiene related functions, whether it has sterilization function or not, whether it uses material for hygiene, such as stainless. Like I told you, like earlier it was plastic, now they have stainless, which is more hygienic. Second, I never do anything which can harm my health. If it is to be healthy, I look always for it. I just want to do everything which is healthy for me. Purchasing the product, which is most important point. Then even if it is expensive, I purchase the product with favorite design. If I talk about the design, then that's more important. While purchasing the product, I always check whether it's easy to use. Even if it's expensive, I'll buy which is easy with latest technology. Which of the following factors do you consider the most while purchasing the water purifier? So the options are whether it is hygienic functions, functions of healthcare, price, design, usability. latest technology. You have to tell first and second, you have to give the numbers. Where did you usually search for water purification purchase? Word of mouth. From where do you get to know about family, whoever are knowledgeable about this? It's multi. Mass communication, the major options which you can tick. So all things which you should tick. Please, you have to fill it correctly and attentively because it's very important for the company and us to know. Which do you think, which source is the most useful and helpful? Please select one which is the most helpful. Some of them, when they go to the shop, they agree to the seller. They have a great impact about of what the seller has to say to them. Some of them thinks that the relatives are more knowledgeable and then they go for them, then they think what they are going to say. You just have to select one, which is very, very appropriate. And now G31, water purifiers you have currently have. If you have the water purifier ones, then you have to select those one which you have recently purchased, either offline or either online. From where did you get it? You have to pick it from that. And how many of that of the following do you have the faucets? How the faucets are, the multi-plug, and the sockets and kitchens. Last, what kind of 16, 16 you must be understanding. It's the software. It's a socket, fridge, air conditioners, and everything is connected to. So the ampere, it's more. The earthing is more. The plug is also huge, but generally it has a less plug, but it's not with this one.